Hi, everybody. We are at the Cannabis Conference in Las Vegas. It's 2022, and it's been really fun to be here. I'm with Alex Carver, who's a grad student at Clemson University. How's it going?
It's going really well. It's been an exciting last 3 days. I think that there's been a lot of really good energy and a lot of good information and connections made here over the last 3 days.
Awesome. What brought you here?
So being in cannabis research at Clemson University, I wanted to pursue the opportunity to see where the state of the industry is. This is my first cannabis conference. And so I kind of wanted to see what cultivators are kind of struggling with, what they have learned over the last few years in the cultivation industry, and trying to see, hey, where can we make more positive impact in research in the future.
Nice. So what have you learned?
So I think the biggest thing that I have learned thus far is seeing that private industry kind of has already started on research topics and pursuing research behind closed doors. Being at the university level, we're a little bit behind due to the state and federal regulations on allowing cannabis to be studied at an academic university level. But it's really cool to see kind of the projects that these private industries have already been pursuing, and it kind of gives us at the university level a little bit of like guidance on, hey, this is already been taken a look at and what we need to pursue in the future.
Nice. So, great segue. What about the future of this industry? What are you excited about?
I'm really excited to see a little bit more, definitely from the medical side of things, looking at the medicinal benefits of cannabis, and then that way us as cultivators or on the agriculture side kind of have a direction on, hey, where do we need to steer this plant? Is it more towards terpene production? Is it more towards the CBD, the other cannabinoids that are derived from this plant?
Awesome. Well, it was great to meet you here. I'm so glad you're here, and I look forward to seeing you around more.
Yes, thank you. You as well.
Awesome. All right, I am here with Elmar Mair, who's with Neatleaf, and we're at the Cannabis Conference. How's it going?
It's going great. It's like we're coming out of stealth, showing our system for the first time, and we really love to interact with the community and learn how we could use the system in their environments.
Awesome. So what brought you here?
We basically have been working on a new system which collects a lot of data, a comprehensive understanding of the environment over the last 2 years, and now we are ready to really deploy those systems in the field, and we are here to spread the word.
Awesome. What have you learned since being here?
Yeah, actually a lot. I learned a lot about how the community is really excited about data, about understanding what's going on in their environments to ensure that their yield is optimal and they have the most efficient way of growing the plants. And this is really good to see that we are all on the same wavelength here.
That's awesome. So what do you see as the future of this industry?
I do believe that cannabis is going to be spearheading a lot of the, data-driven agriculture, so to say, because there's crops which are not yet fully understood how to grow at scale at least, has been done a lot of research. So at this point, really trying to optimize the yield, optimize the understanding of how terpenes, cannabinoids, etc. is getting impacted by different growing conditions. I think that's something where this industry is gonna probably invest a lot of money and potentially lead.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It was really nice to meet you here. I'm glad we met, and I look forward to seeing you more in the future.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nadia.
Thanks.
Very much enjoyed it.
Thanks, Elmar. I'm here with Heather Zindash from the Soulful Gardener. How's it going?
Great, thank you.
Yeah, so what brought you to the Cannabis Conference?
Well, interestingly, I came here for some of the great speakers. Ironically, you are one of the people that I came for.
Awesome.
Yeah. I learned a great deal from your presentation.
Perfect segue. What did you learn while you were here?
Well, I'm an integrated pest management consultant, and I help growers with insects, diseases, and abiotic conditions. And one of the biggest things that I wanted to learn here were all those factors that affect abiotic conditions, which can negatively affect a grow and affect quality and yield. So here we got to take a really deeper dive on some of the things I had known about, and then I can do a better job helping my client make adjustments and those nuances to their equipment and make sure that they're not contributing to the factors that might negatively affect their crop.
Nice. So what do you see as the future of this industry?
Well, that's a great question. I'm here from Maryland, and we're about to take a big vote here at the end of the year, and I think that's going to change the number of people who can grow, and I think that will probably change how many people enter the marketplace, and also, I don't know, the price point and the quality. So I want to be there to help growers as best I can as things change.
Yeah. It is a changing market for sure, and a growing market at that.
Right.
So, well, thank you so much. It was really fun meeting you, and I really look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, I am here with Taylor Kirk from Fluence. We're at the Cannabis Conference. How's it going?
It's good. It's
Yeah?
really good.
Do you have a good show?
It's always a marathon,
Right.
and a lot of good networking and educational sessions.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
So what brought you here to this conference?
Representing Fluence, helping out at the booth, and then customer visits. We have several customers in town, so I had 5 visits this week. And then, just helping out around the booth.
Busy.
So
what have you learned? What's been one of your takeaways from the conference?
This last presentation Allison just did was pretty interesting. I'd heard some of it before, but just really gets you to think about how we are drying and curing. There's other things that she didn't cover that growers are doing, so there's just so much here to unravel, and it just reminds me how we're still at the tip of the iceberg here. We've had 80 years of prohibition essentially, and no real research has been done. It's all just been growers communicating what's working for them in the underground, and it's pretty cool to see how some of the practices we've discovered, there's a lot of logic behind them. There's science behind it, and just discovering what that is. It's just fascinating.
Awesome. So, what do you see for the future of the industry?
There's right now it's a tough time for a lot of growers. I see the market stabilizing and becoming like any other market out there. I think that the green rush isn't over by any means, but we may have seen the glory days already, and so it's becoming a little bit more of a commodity. And so growers, producers really need to figure out how to produce quality efficiently. And so reducing operating costs, that's got to be at the top of your list if you're an operator that's growing cannabis right now.
That's going to make it in the future.
Yeah. Only the best operators will survive.
Yeah. Well, Taylor, it's so good to see you. Yes. And have a safe trip home, and we'll see you at the next event.
All right. Be careful out there.
Thanks. All right, I am at the Cannabis Conference. Last day, we're just wrapping up, and I'm with Zach Mentz and Noelle Skodzinski from Cannabis Business Times. Thank you guys so much for putting on this event. It was awesome.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, so why the Cannabis Conference? What's the purpose? What makes it so special?
I think it's a lot about education. I think, and you spoke to this today in your session, it's a matter of getting the whole industry on the same page, using the same terminology, and that comes from education and people like yourself that come out and present here. So we really think that's a big focus of it. It's also great to connect the industry between exhibitors, cultivators, and really any plant-touching businesses. But a lot of it is education focused, I think.
Yeah, and I think this event is focused so specifically on plant-touching cannabis businesses and just making sure that everyone is sharing information and kind of working to advance the industry as a whole. And it's the size of an event that everyone can actually network and make connections. And, we keep repeating this mantra, but so many people have told us we have like a single conversation can change the trajectory of your business, and this is what happens. We've had so many people say, I met this person and we're going to go do this deal and we're going to go work together and form a partnership, and that's the exciting part, right? It's just getting everyone together, and there's a lot of challenges in the industry right now, but also another common thread was that the industry is at such an infancy still that it's a beginning, and it's a historic thing to be doing all of this state legal stuff around a federally illegal product. So it's going to have growing pains, and unfortunately and sadly there are a lot of them, but that's why we're here.
Awesome. So what has been your guys' takeaway, one of your takeaways from the conference?
Drink more water.
Amen.
I think that even though there's a lot of struggling going on, there is a lot of optimism and a lot to look forward to. I think there were a lot of positive messages that came through in our keynote yesterday, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but I think that people, they're so passionate about this, and I think that they're just going to keep going. You can't shut this down at this point.
Yeah. No going back.
No.
Yeah, I think a takeaway is, we're all in the same boat, pushing in the same direction. Competition isn't really there yet. We have to get the industry solidified before there's competition in the industry, right? So getting everyone pushing in the same direction, again, going back to using the same terminology and knowledge, and realizing, like Noelle said, we've come a far way. Still have a long way to go, though, and it's going to take all of us to get there collaboratively, and then maybe we can compete later, but we'll worry about that down the line. Right now, it's just getting cannabis all on the same page.
Yeah. So, what's the future of this industry look like from your perspectives?
I think more growing pains. That's not going to happen overnight. Hopefully, we're going to have, over the next few years, half of the country, hopefully, legalizing for adult use, but there's still half to go. And then federal legalization, who knows when any of that's going to happen. I think a lot of people have been...
That's going to change the trajectory.
Right. So I think it's just going to be constant evolution and constantly adapting, and that's why we're going to keep doing what we're doing, because every single year things are so different than the year before, and we're going to just find out and keep moving and just keep talking about those issues and how to evolve, because you have to just keep evolving. And I think the keynote speaker yesterday also mentioned kind of just the ability, you have to be able to adapt and keep an eye on your vision, but if you need to change how you're going to get there, that's what we need to figure out.
It's the whole egg and the spoon metaphor.
Yes.
Yeah. You know that metaphor, yeah. You have?
Yeah, I think it's such an important point, what Noelle's saying, about being able to adapt. The industry's not going anywhere. If only it's going to grow in the coming years, we know that. And those that push back against it, that's okay. Cannabis cultivators and operators know how to be nimble and work through challenges. That's what they've been doing their entire lives and are continuing to today. So optimistic about the industry going forward. This is a dedicated group, and it's only going to go up from here.
Well, I really appreciate this conference. I appreciate you guys putting me to work.
Love putting you to work.
But this is one of my favorite events. I tell everybody that because of the educational content. Even in my session, how many of you are growers, and more than 50% are. And that's who I really want to be talking to, right? Are the people who are making the decisions about how to grow their plants. And there's no other venue like this one that allows me to reach out to them, other than like our own workshop, but industry wide. So thank you for putting this on, for sustaining even through the pandemic last year. I felt like there was still even a good turnout. Last year I was doing these interviews with masks on.
I know.
It's a whole new world
from that.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So, you guys both deserve so much rest.
Thank you.
Water.
Thank you.
We'll get plenty of that. We'll get plenty of that.
And thank
Same
you
to you
for being a big part of this event again, as per in previous years. And you're always one of our favorite speakers among attendees.
Thank you.
Obviously, you draw a lot of people, so thrilled to have you here.
Awesome. Thank you, Noelle.
And also, you're a very nice person.
Oh, you guys do.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here.
Awesome. Thanks.
Hi everyone, we are back with Dr. Nadia Saba after another cannabis conference. It is the 2022 conference and we are about to head home. Wanted to catch up with Dr. Saba about her own opinions with the questions she asked our fellow attendees. So, what is it that brought you here?
So, Cannabis Business Times really put me to work at this one. I moderated the greenhouse panel, which was really awesome. We had really great speakers. It was very engaging. We had a packed house. People were standing around the room. It was standing room only. And I think they gave a lot of great wisdom and experience to current and future greenhouse growers. I was also honored to give a talk by myself about how to create a thriving environment for your indoor grow. So I talked, of course, about vapor pressure deficit. I talked about sensible cooling and latent cooling and dehumidification and the challenges around that, and really tried to give some tidbits that growers could take back to their facility and maybe implement right away. So, yeah, it was a great conference. I always enjoy this one. It's always really engaging and a great opportunity to educate.
Absolutely. So speaking of tidbits, did you have any favorite tidbit takeaways that you discovered on this conference?
Well, actually, a few learny things.
Okay.
Yeah, there were some fun tidbits that I took away from the conference. Bruce Bugbee talked about some research that they were doing over at Utah State, including adding copper at about 30 parts per million to the fertilizer is antimicrobial and can actually kill Pythium. That's really cool.
Yeah, that was super
So
wild.
I loved that. Also, one of the growers was talking about efficiency, and she said that by watering their plants kind of right at the wilting point, they're able to save 40% of the water than what they used to use.
Wow.
I think the other thing, Dr. Allison Justice, she talked about drying and curing, and it was about the science, mastering the science of drying and curing cannabis. But what was so fascinating to me is that the science is really supporting a lot of the art, a lot of the practices that growers have been doing for decades, and the science is now actually saying why that art has been so successful over the years. I thought that was a really important takeaway.
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool way for her to frame that.
Yeah.
Like understanding both sides of it. So it seems like you got a lot out of this conference. What is it that has you excited for the future of the industry?
Well, I don't know. Excited. I mean, I think that there are a lot of new people and a lot of new faces at the cannabis conference. What is exciting is that everyone kept talking about the challenges that the industry is facing, and yet the house was packed. There's still so many people there. People are still coming to learn and do better. And that gives me, that inspires me that this industry is on the right track. Also, just all the people who are doing research, right? That hemp has actually opened the door to doing scientific research with the cannabis plant. It might not be THC, but all the principles still apply.
Absolutely.
And so knowing that we are moving in that direction to get more science, to understand the plant, understand the why behind grower practices, is just going to make this industry so much stronger. And I'm excited to see the trajectory. Even if we're dealing with challenges now, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Absolutely.
Right? And let's do it. We're going to get stronger.
Yeah.
Because of it.
Exactly. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.